Song for Dareon from A Feast for Crows. I'm done with darkness, he sang, his voice honey over thunder, defying a world that had crushed him.
Ethics, morality, the whole question of right and wrong, of heroism and villainy. These are all issues. I mean, I've always taken as my writing mantra what William Faulkner said in his Nobel Prize acceptance speech, where he said the only thing worth writing about is the human heart in conflict with itself, and I believe that. And that's what you see in Game of Thrones, and hopefully in many of my other earlier work.
Today, we're chasing truth. Lightbringer, the red sword of heroes, isn't always Dragonsteel, nor is it always metaphorically tied to destruction and transformation. Maybe it is a hopeful song, a spark of joy, or justice for a broken man, one like Dareon. Is his song the truer Lightbringer? Don't worry, we are well aware that Dareon may be more closely or more strictly linked in most interpretations to Nissa Nissa or to Garth the Green than he is to Lightbringer itself, especially in a pantomime and iconological sense, or a dragon lance-based interpretation, or in a popular astronomical mythology. But recognizing this, let's dive into the prophecy, the text, and a theory that partly redefines the torchbearer in A Song of Ice and Fire. Warning, Sam Tarly and Arya Stark fans may be a little uncomfortable with George's point here. Let us spark this dawn and learn a little about Dareon. And remember, this is not a college logic class. This is George inspiring us to think about the complex morality play his characters are enacting. Why? I guess so we are more empowered in our own introspections. Again, George is always thinking about Faulkner's human heart in conflict.
Most of the good people are good. I've always been more attracted to great characters, and I've said in many interviews, well, I do think the battle of good and evil is a great subject for fiction, but in my view, the battle for good and evil is waged within the individual human heart, and it's our decisions. We're all partly good and partly evil, and we make decisions every day, and we may do a good thing on Wednesday and then an evil thing on Thursday, or a selfish thing, and it's all very complicated, and that's kind of the approach that I've taken.
And beyond George's overriding principle about the human heart, and definitely adding to our difficulty, his allegories are also clues to the actual past in A Song of Ice and Fire. And these allegories likely point to how the future plots play out in the winds of winter. From Game of Thrones, quote, "Once there were two moons in the sky, but one wandered too close to the sun and cracked from the heat. 1,000 dragons poured forth and drank the fire of the sun. That is why dragons breathe flame. One day the other moon will kiss the sun too, and then it will crack and the dragons will return." In A Clash of Kings, Davos 1, Melisandre proclaims, "In ancient books of Ashai it is written that there will come a day after a long summer when the stars bleed and the cold breath of darkness falls heavy on the world. In this dread hour a warrior shall draw from the fire a burning sword. And that sword shall be Lightbringer, the red sword of heroes, and he who clasps it shall be Azor Ahai, come again." Sounds like a flaming sword, right? But it's also multiple other things we know are both symbolic and metaphorical. What we sometimes call iconology and pantomime. For lack of a better way to put it, George is always stealing from, then twisting and expanding on tropes. So some fans, rightly, in our opinion, point to Dawn, the great sword of House Dane, pale as milk glass as the actual Lightbringer. And others point to Daenerys and her dragons, born under a red comet. From A Game of Thrones, Daenerys 10, Jogo spied it first. "There," he said in a hushed voice. Dany looked and saw it, low in the east. The first star was a comet, burning red, blood red, fire red, the dragon's tail. She could not have asked for a stronger sign. Most folks also attack Stannis' glowing blade as puppetry and just a fake Lightbringer. Maester Aemon shuts the idea down in A Storm of Swords, Samwell 5. To summarize his thoughts, the sword is wrong. Lightbringer should give off heat, and Stannis' blade has only light, a glamour. Maybe Maester Aemon is right for once, but if the sword motif is just a pantomime anyway, I guess Stannis' glowing blade will suffice. And these ideas and beliefs in A Song of Ice and Fire are also conflicting and jumbled, just like our current notions of Greek mythology. One legend, described in A Clash of Kings by Salad Horsan, has Azor Ahai forging an obviously multi-meaning and allegorical weapon. He labored for 30 days and 30 nights until it was done. He plunged it into water and it broke. He tried again, forging for 50 days and nights, and drove it into a lion's heart, but again it shattered. At last he forged it for 100 days and nights, and drove it into the heart of his wife, Nissa Nissa, and her cry of anguish and ecstasy left a crack across the face of the moon, but her blood and her soul and her strength and her courage all went into the steel. Briefly put, most will see steel, plus they will see the parallels to the comet or other celestial body or celestial body parts that struck and induced an interregnum across the planet. But a theory from Bridge 4 from 2017 sees Lightbringer as at least a little differently. As he says, quote, "Everyone has the ability to be Lightbringer, a sword in the darkness. George makes it about personal light, happiness, fairness, justice. And Dareon, a broken singer, embodies this fight. There is a link in the description to Bridge 4's video. He is a real OG giant of the fandom." Following is our interpretation of his ideas. Dareon is no knight or lord. In A Feast for Crows, Samwell 2, he is a Night's Watch brother with a voice, quote, "like honey poured over thunder." Young and handsome, he is accused of rape, a charge he denies in A Game of Thrones, quote, "Fair?" Dareon sneered. "The girl was waiting for me, naked as the day she was born. She pulled me through the window, and you talk to me of fair." True or not, Westerosi justice broke him, exiling him to the wall's frozen hell. Septon Meribald's broken men speech in A Feast for Crows, Brienne 5, fits Dareon to some degree. Meribald says, "The singers love to sing of good men, forced to go outside the law to fight some wicked lord, but most outlaws are more like this ravening hound than they are the lightning lord. They are evil men, driven by greed, soured by malice, despising the gods and caring only for themselves. Broken men are more deserving of our pity, though they may be just as dangerous. Dareon is a broken man." And Dareon's darkness had grown even more brutal. A stormy voyage with Sam, Gilly, and a dying Master Aemon, starving, penniless, with Gilly's tears relentless. So in Braavos, Dareon deserts, he actually deserts, seeking wine and the sailor's wife's bed. In A Feast for Crows, Samwell 4, Sam, bound by duty, judges and attacks him. Sam's anger was a fire in his belly, and he even threw a punch. Arya, in A Feast for Crows, as Cat of the Canals, delivers lethal justice, slitting his throat as a deserter and stealing his boots for another man, a grim refusal to walk in his shoes, I think is part of the meaning. Fans love Arya's fierceness and Sam's loyalty, but both are wrong here. Dareon is no villain. His songs at the Happy Port brought joy, as Sam admits. When Dareon sang, life was more pleasant. His voice fought despair, seeking happiness and fairness in a world that wronged him. "I am done with darkness, I am done with darkness." These words and mantra mark a rebirth amidst the Braavos' salty air and smoky brothel fires, echoing the prophecy of salt and smoke. Compare Dareon to Jaime Lannister, another oath-breaker. Jaime's forced oaths, like Dareon's probably false accusation, question the idea of any blind loyalties. From A Clash of Kings, Catelyn 7, Jaime reached for the flagon to refill his cup. So many vows, they make you swear and swear. Defend the king, obey the king, keep his secrets, do his bidding, your life for his. But obey your father, love your sister, protect the innocent, defend the weak, respect the gods, obey the laws. It's too much. No matter what you do, you're forsaking one vow or the other. He took a healthy swallow of wine and closed his eyes for an instant, leaning his head back against the patch of niter on the wall. I was the youngest man ever to wear the white cloak. Black Brother Dareon broke his vow to reclaim his life, singing for joy. Arya, hardened by her faceless men path, sees only betrayal. Thinking in A Dance with Dragons, in her Blind Girl chapter, quote, "Dareon had been a deserter from the Night's Watch. He had deserved to die. But the kindly man says, 'When you slew the singer, you took God's powers on yourself. We kill men, but we do not presume to judge them.' Sam, loyal to the Watcher's code, shares her view, yet both serve wrong masters, a rigid system that punishes an innocent man. Dareon's song, his fight for light, makes him a metaphorical Lightbringer, challenging the other's black and white judgments. Bridge 4's theory nails it. There is no single darkness, no single hero, and no sword Lightbringer. It's a metaphor. George R. Martin crafts Lightbringer as anyone fighting their darkness, grief, injustice, or despair, with happiness and joy, fairness and justice. Dareon's song embodies this, while Dawn, or even Daenerys' dragons, born amidst smoke and tears, could be Lightbringer. The true power is personal. Dareon's voice lifted spirits in Braavos, as Sam notes in A Feast for Crows, Samwell 6. when Dareon sang, life was more pleasant. Twisting Maester Aemon's insights on Dareon in Sam's 3rd chapter seals this idea. Dareon's song, his life, his story, eventually yields a truth, a spark against despair. Quote, even the most fanciful song may hold a kernel of truth. Be done with darkness, no matter how fanciful. A totally stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius would be proud. Tragically, we don't always win, but that is not the point. Neither Stoicism nor George's. Arya and Sam's errors amplify this. Arya, in A Feast for Crows, the Cat of the Canals chapter, kills Dareon without hesitation. He is a man of the Night's Watch, he broke his oath. Sam, in A Feast for Crows, Samwell 4, feels betrayed. He swore to serve, to stand his watch. Yet neither walks in Dareon's shoes, blind to the likely false accusation and crushing exile. Their wrong masters, the Watcher's code, Arya's vengeance, clash with Lightbringer's illumination. Sam's growth, punching Dareon despite his cowardice, shows potential. But he later regrets breaking his own vows with Gilly. Quote, I am a man of the Night's Watch, I should not have. Like Stannis in A Clash of Kings, Davos 2, who says, when he spoke of how sweet the peach was, did his words have some hidden meaning? The king gave a shake of his head, like a dog shaking a rabbit to snap its neck. Only Renly could vex me so with a piece of fruit. He brought his doom on himself with his treason, but I did love him, Davos. I know that now. I swear, I will go to my grave thinking of my brother's peach. Sam tastes life, but condemns himself. Dareon embraced the peach, seeking joy, making his song a true Lightbringer. To some extent, Dareon finally was like Renly. From A Clash of Kings, Catelyn 3, quote, a man should never refuse to taste a peach, Renly said as he tossed the stone away. He may never get the chance again. Life is short, Stannis. Remember what the Starks say. Winter is coming. He wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. Could Lightbringer be Dawn, the Dane's blade, or Daenerys' dragons? Maybe. But George's genius, as Bridge 4 argues, is that everyone basically has the innate ability or right to embrace Lightbringer. It isn't one hero or one blade, it's the choice to fight darkness, like Dareon's song. Septa and Maribold's words in A Feast for Crows, Brienne 5, totally relate and resonate. The broken man lives from day to day, yet there is always a chance for redemption. That is a song for Dareon. His fight for joy and justice shows Lightbringer is not just a sword. It's anyone kindling light in the dark. Is Lightbringer Dareon's song, Daenerys' dragons, or something else? Tell us about what we missed and got wrong. Sing your song, and we'll see you for more Coconut A Song of Ice and Fire theories soon. From the shoulders of giants, I am done with darkness.